so now we'll be starting with mathematical operations. Okay, let's just get right into the chapter. Okay, so now what do we mean by mathematical operations? Basically, your basic arithmetic operations that all of you, I'm sure, know. You have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So in the questions that come under this topic, it will be basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, nothing too complex. But the catch here is that you will have these signs in a coded form. Okay, and but don't worry, the coded form doesn't mean that it will be very difficult. It will be easy. You'll just have to replace these coded symbols with the actual sign and then answer the question that is asked. Now, in this section, the only theory that you need is the BODMAS rule. BODMAS rule, I believe, is something that you would have already studied, but if not, I've just gotten a figure for you guys. You can just go through it. Okay, so here in BODMAS, the most important part that you will have is this. Division, multiplication having precedence over addition, subtraction. This is what you need to remember all the time. Okay, now for those of you who do not know how exactly BODMAS works, I'll just take you through it very quickly. Basically, the point is, see, let's say 3 into 6. Plus 2. Okay, now this can be found out in two ways. Either you could write it as 3 into 6, that is 18 plus 2, which gives you 20, or you can write it as 3 into 6 plus 2, which is 8, which is 24. The answers that you get is not equal. So what is right? Both of these cannot be right? There needs to be one singular answer. So that is where this BODMAS rule comes into play. What you do is basically, this is the precedence that you give. This has precedence, basically means significance, right? So this has the highest significance and this has the lowest significance. Okay, you start from here and you go all the way till here. Now, what does this mean? I will just show you with, I'll take any two of these and I'll just show so that you guys have it clear. So basically, so if this equation is given in the form of a bracket where you have 3 into 6 plus 2, in that case, you have to do what is in the brackets first. That is why brackets have the highest precedence. Okay. So if this is the case, then this would be the answer. If this is the case, if it is given as 3 into 6 plus 2, then this would be the answer. Okay, so you will have to add these and then multiply, right? But what if no brackets are given? Like in this question that I gave you, I did not give any brackets, right? But when somebody writes mathematical operations, ideally you should be giving brackets, but you don't have brackets all the time, right? So if there is no bracket, how do you figure it out? It's very simple. All you need to do is remember this. So here you have multiplication, right? Division and multiplication will have more precedence over addition. Okay, so that means here you are going to do the multiplication part first, which means this is the right answer and this is wrong. This will be right only if it is given like this. If you have brackets that specify key, do addition first. If that is not the case, you will do multiplication first. This also holds for division. So division and multiplication has more precedence over addition and subtraction. This part is what you need majorly for questions under mathematical operation, but it is always good to know the whole thing because BODMAS rule is something that you will need as long as you're studying math. Okay, and even for other subjects. I mean, math is the basis to a lot of subjects, right? Anyway, moving on. If P plus R equals 2Q and Q plus S equals 2P, which of the following is correct? So here, you don't have any decoding of the signs to 2 or anything like that, but this is a question that is asked under mathematical operations. So I thought I will, show this to you guys. Okay, this is a fairly simple question. All you have to do is this, just write the equations. Okay. And now, what can you see? Here, the equation is in the terms of P, R, and Q, right? Here, the equation is in terms of Q, S, and P. If you look at the answers, for two of the answers, the equation is in terms of P, S, R, and Q. So what do? We try to get from these equations, we try to get an equation which is in the terms of all four letters, right? For that, how do you get an equation from these that is in terms of all four? Just add. Okay, so you just add these. So you can write it as P plus R plus Q plus S is equal to 2Q plus 2P. What do you get? Now you can take Q to this side, you can take both Q and P to the right side. So it will be R plus S is equal to 2Q plus 2P minus P minus Q. This gives you 2Q minus Q is Q, 2P minus P is P, right? So you get R plus S is equal to Q plus P. That's it. You just see if you have it anywhere. Yes. P plus Q equals R plus S. Right? This is the answer. That's it. You're done. So it's very simple. Okay. Now we'll move on to questions that are the actual kind of mathematical operation questions. So right, this is how it is usually. So basically your symbols, these are symbols that you're very familiar with, right? You have multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Now these symbols are coded as P, Q, R and S. Now you just need to replace the symbols with your actual signs and do the operation, as simple as that. But you also need to keep what in mind? BODMAS rule in mind. Okay, so let's try this. I'll write it here. 2. What is P? Multiplication. What is 9? 9 is 9 itself, sorry. S is subtraction. 24. I'm just writing this first option. Okay. 24. Q is division. 8. R is addition. 1 equals 32. Okay. Now, remember your BODMAS rule. For BODMAS, it is always better if you can put the parentheses. Okay, just put the parentheses here. So then you know that these have to be done first. So 2 9s are 18 minus 24 by 8 is 3 plus 1. Does this give you 32? No, definitely not, right? Because 18 minus 3 will already become a smaller number. So that is 15. 15 plus 1 is not 32. So this is not the right answer. Now, again, 2. Now we're doing the second option. Okay. 2 into 9. What is S? S is minus 24. Q is division. 8. R is plus 1 is equal to 60. Again, just give the parenthesis. You get 18 minus 3 plus 1. Oh, it's basically the same thing that it's the same thing that you had for the first option, right? So what did this give you? This gives you 16. 18 minus 3 is 15 plus 1. 16. So this is the right answer. Okay. If you want, you can cross check with the others, but it's not really needed. Okay. So we can just cross check just one more option. So C is 2 into 8. D S is minus 24 plus 9 divided by 1 equals 4. You give the parenthesis. 8 to is 16 minus 24 plus 9 divided by 1 is 9. Just try this. What do you get? 4 here. So what is 16 minus 24? 24 minus 16 is 8, right? You can just do it here. 24 minus 16, just give 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. Then you have a 1 here, it becomes 0. So this becomes minus 8. Minus 8 plus 9 is 9 minus 8 is 1, which is not equal to 4, right? So you can do the same with the D option also. You will see that it does not hold. Okay. Now, since that is done, let's move on to the next question. If plus means divide, divide means minus, minus means not x, sorry, multiply. Multiply means plus. So many operations. It's actually come a full round. We started from plus and we have ended at plus. Okay. Anyway, so 12 plus, here just write the equation in terms of the actual operation. So instead of plus, write divide. 12 divided by 6. Instead of divide, write minus. Minus 3. Instead of minus, write multiplication into 2. Instead of multiplication, write plus. Plus 8. Give parenthesis for your multiplication and division because these have more precedence. Right, so 12 by 6 is 2. Oh, by the way, in case you do not know, what we mean by parenthesis is these brackets. Okay. Minus 3 into 2 is 6 plus 8. What is the answer? What is 2 minus 6 is minus 4. What is minus 4 plus 8? 4. Right? So this is the answer. You're done. As simple as that. Okay. If 4 plus 3 equals 12, 6 plus 4 equals 24, then 7 plus 3 equals what? So here, do you notice a difference in this question? For the questions that we've done until now, we were given what each symbol means. Like we were told, okay, if you see a plus, it means divide. And even here we were told, if you see a P, it means multiply. If you see a Q, it means divide, and so on and so forth, right? But here you're not told. You have to find out what the symbols mean, right? So the decoding part, you need to do it on your own. But what you're given is, you're given two examples from which it is fairly easy to decode. So 4 plus 3, is it equal to 12? Definitely not, right? But what sign can you put in this place in order to have this equality hold? Basically, if I were to write it like this, 4 dash 3 equals 12, what operation would you give here? Multiplication, right? 4 3s are 12, nothing else works. 4 divided by 3 is not 12, 4 minus 3 is not 12, 4 plus 3, like we just discussed, is not 12. The only thing that works is multiplication, right? So we've got it. So does you just cross check for the second one? Does it work here? Yes, 6 4s are 24 works. So here what we have gotten now is that plus means multiply, right? So here I'll just write it here. So in this fourth question, the crux of this question is that plus means multiply. So here instead of 7 plus 3, you write it as 7 into 3, which is 21. That's it, you're done. Moving on to the second question. 12 minus 2 equals 6. This is not right. When also just do the same thing. What operation can you give here to get 6? 12 by 2, right? 12 divided by 2 is 6. Now try that for your third one also. Second one. 18 divided by 3 is 6, right? Does it work for the third? 15 divided by 3 is 5, right? So it works here also. Then, so you do the same thing. You need to find 28 divided by 7, which is 4. 7 4s are 28. Okay, so you've gotten. So this was the, so here basically you had minus, equals, division. So these are some questions where you had to decode on your own. Okay, but as you've seen, it's fairly easy, nothing too difficult. Moving on, if here again you are given the symbols. Okay, so you know that, okay, we'll just write it 4 8 5. Instead of multiplication, give addition, plus. Instead of division, give subtraction, minus. So 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 minus 5 is 7, and that's it. You've gotten the answer. Moving on, if again, so just do, you don't have to sit and read this first. Just first thing when you do mathematical operation questions, write this equation and then read what it means. Okay, so you can save time this way. So 4 6 8, instead of A just give minus, instead of B just give plus. So 4 minus 6 is minus 2. How do you get minus 2? 6 minus 4 is 2, and since 6 is the bigger number, you take the sign, right? I mean, this is basic subtraction, you would know this. Minus 2 plus 8 is 6. This is the answer. Okay, these are, like I said, fairly simple questions, but we will do more examples. If A plus B is C, B plus C is D, C plus D is E, then D plus E. Okay, now this is a question where this is another type of question where you have, okay, you know what, we'll just give different type numbers so you will know that you have covered everything. So here these questions were of type 1. Okay, basically not even mathematical operation for that matter. You didn't even have to use mathematical operation, just basic addition. Okay, so but let's call them type 1. Then type 2 questions. Type 2 questions are where you are given what the symbols mean and then you use that to find the answer. Okay, so this was also type 2. This also came under type 2. And then we encountered type 3 questions. Type 3 questions are where you need to do the decoding process yourself. Okay, we decoded it ourselves. Okay, and then here you have type 4. Sorry, this is also type 3, just that you have letters, but it also comes under type 3. But here is where you have type 4. I mean, not exactly 4, but yeah, I mean, you could call it. So basically the thing is, what we're doing here is, it's not just that you decode the questions, it's letters. instead of numbers, right? So there is that difference also. Okay, so you have a plus b equals c. Now think of how can a plus b be c. So whenever you have letters, always look at the position of the letters. It will help. And even otherwise, just see if you look at these, you know, a, b, c, right? So c comes after a and b. As simple as that. B, C, D, again, you know, D comes after B and C. C, D, E, E comes after this. D, E. So what comes after this? F. So you know that F is the answer. Okay. Right, so you just had to like keep adding. That was it. If L stands for multiplication, M stands for division, then 16L 5M8. Okay, so just write it like I always say, 16 into 5 divided by 8. Now, since division and multiplication have equal precedence, you can do it in any order. Okay, it doesn't really matter. It's always so it's better since they have equal precedence. Do it in the order that you see. So you see this first, right? So do this first. So what is 16 into 5? 6 5 is 30, 3 carry, 5 1 is 5, 6 7 8 8. What is 80 by 8? 10, right? 8 tens are 80. So this is the answer. That's it. You're done. Okay, moving on. If 4 plus 3 is 9, so again this was our type 3, right, where you need to figure out you need to decode the symbol. 4 plus 3 is 4 plus 3 9? No. But how do you get 9 from 4 and 3? There are two things. One is you can either do 4 plus 3 plus 2, right, is 9, right? 4 plus 3, 7 plus 2 is 9. Or you can also do 4 into 3, 12 minus 3 is also 9, right? 4 3 is 12, 11, 10, 9. Now, we need to find out which of these is right. Okay, so just move on to the second hint that you have. 9 plus 8 is 19. So just check this. So 9 plus 8 plus 2. What is it? 9 plus 9, 18. 17 plus 2, 19. This works. Does the second one work? What is 9 into 8? Oh no, it won't, because it will be a much bigger number, right? So 9 is a 72. 72 minus 3 is definitely not going to be 19. So you know that this is the right one. If you want, you can just cross check it here also. 11 plus 4 equals 17. 11 plus 4 plus 2. It is 11 plus 6, which is 17, right? Okay, this works. So here now one thing you need to understand, this type 3 is important. So you know I'll call it type 3A. Because why am I calling it type 3A? Because here you might have thought that, you know, when you see questions of this kind, what you do is just you replace the symbol with some other symbol, right? That's what we did. Like we had a question earlier where we had 7 3 21. And here, instead of plus, we just replaced it with a multiplication sign. 7 plus 3, we wrote it as 7 into 3. Right? So, but here what do you see? It's not just, you don't just replace the symbol. You keep the symbol as it is, but you add a whole new element to it, right? That is also there. So, symbol does not mean, you know, just the symbol will be replaced. It might also be that you add something else. Okay, so we actually kept 4 plus 3. We did not change the addition sign, but we added some other element. That could also be the case, right? So just keep that in mind, which is why I call this type 3A. Okay, so you could also have questions of this type, where you don't necessarily change the symbol, but you add some other element. Okay, so now let us complete the question. 13 plus 7. What is 13 plus 7? It is 20. 20 plus 2. It's 22. This is our answer. So basically for this question, the answer was x plus y plus 2. This was the actual operation that had to be done in place of x plus y. Okay, so this was what we had to do. Moving on to our last question under this section. If minus means multiplication, multiplication means addition, then 4 minus 8 into 2. So 4 minus 8, one second. 4 minus 8 into 2 can be written as 4 into 8 plus 2, right, based on what we have been given. Give your precedence. What is 4 into 8? 32. 32 plus 2 is 34. Do you have 34 in options? No. So none of these is the answer. But usually, when kids see none of these in answers, they get a bit confused. Okay, is it right, or is it because I got the wrong answer? Because that could also be the case. It might be something else, but you did not get it right. So just cross check it again. Just check it very carefully. Be calm. Don't get tense. Just check it. So you can write it as 4 minus 8 into 2. So minus is into, right? So 4 into 8. Into is plus 2. That is 8 fours are 32. 8 fours are 32 plus 2, which is 34. That's it. Okay. So we have now what type does this come under? This comes under type 3. Right, so we have done, so basically mathematical operation questions can be like broadly divided into 4 types. But yeah, the questions are fairly easy. It's just basic operations that you need to know, and the very important theory, BODMAS. Without BODMAS rule, you cannot do any kind of mathematical operation. It is very important that you know and remember what BODMAS rule means. Okay, so you have BODMAS rule here. I'll just take you through it again, and we'll just take a recap now through what we learned under mathematical operations. So one is BODMAS. Brackets have the most importance, then division and multiplication, then, and I mean order is also there, but this is the most important part: division, multiplication, then addition and subtraction. Okay. And then we also did this where we had the type 1. What is type 1? Basically, you don't really have any operations. It's just these kind of questions are not usually asked, but I thought I'll just add this because these have been asked. So this is basically pure mathematics. You add, you just had to add equations and things like that, right? So you did not even, you didn't really have to exchange any symbols. That is type 1. Now, what is type 2? Type 2 is where you have is some other symbol for the operation that you use. So instead of multiplication, it was a P here. Instead of division, you had a Q, things like that. That is type 2. Right. So again here, so it could also mean, plus means this, divide means that, minus means that. They give you things of this sort. So see, this is fairly easy. What do you have to do? You only have to perform basic arithmetic operations. The numbers are also very simple, small numbers. It's not very huge, unfathomable numbers, right? It's basic arithmetic operation, but it's just to test, you need to decode. Instead of this, you need to write this. It's just to see how fast, well, and quick you can write this without getting it wrong, right? You need to be able to write this, you need to be able to use BODMAS, and you need to be able to do it without getting it wrong. That's all that this section tests. Okay, moving on. So alright, then the another case, the type 3, was where you had to find the decoding out on your own. You were given a couple of cases, and looking at these cases, you had to find how do you decode on your own. That was type 3. Okay, now type 4. In type 4, you had if yeah, sorry, this also comes under type 3, right? So no, this is actually type 2 because here you'd given what it falls under. This is type 2. So this one is type 3. Just give me a second. This is type 2, this one is type 3. Okay. Yeah. So then you had type 4. Type 4 is where you, instead of numbers, you have letters. So in type 4, you usually look at the position of letters. The position of letters is something that we've learned in analogy, classification, all of those, right? I hope you remember that. It's just that, see, A is at the first position, B is at the second position, so on and so forth. So you will get, Z is at the 26th position and all of that. But here we actually did the question without even looking at the position, right? We just found, A, B, C, D, E, F. So it's going to be D, E, F. We just found that. It can also be done like that without even looking at the position. And then if L stands for X, M stands for divide, then 16L, 5M, 8. This was again type, what is this? Type 2, right? Type 2. You are given everything. Right. And then we have questions of type 3A. Why did I call this type 3A? Because you're not just replacing a symbol. In all of the questions that we did, all that we did was to replace a symbol by some other symbol, right? You just replace plus with the multiplication sign, or division with addition, or subtraction with division, something like that. But here it's not just replacing it. You actually got a formula which is of this kind: x plus y plus 2. right? So that is why this is different. Okay, so here you got a whole different formula, which was not just replacing, you added an element. Okay, so this was type 3A. Did we do more questions? Yeah, I think we did one more question. Yes, here this was again type 3. You just had to, if minus means multiplication, multiplication means addition, then 4 minus 8 into 2. Okay, that was it. So this is a recap of mathematical operations. I hope it's clear for you. Now just remember to learn BODMAS rule, and you're good to go. Just practice. You don't even need to have a lot of practice. It's just couple, it's an easy part, right? So just go through a couple of questions. You're all good to go. Okay, thank you.